51% attack. A 51% attack is like a rigged group taking over voting to control a system. Think of a group project where one person has more than half the votes and can decide who gets credit, no matter what the others think. On a blockchain, if miners or validators control over 50% of the network's power, they can rewrite transaction history. It's like paying for a laptop, getting it delivered, then the network undoes your payment, and you get your money back while keeping the laptop. That's how some smaller proof-of-work blockchains have been robbed, with attackers double spending coins to cash out before the attack is noticed. It's rare on Bitcoin or Ethereum because they're too big to hijack cheaply, but smaller coins like Ethereum Classic have suffered these attacks because controlling 51% of a smaller network can cost less than a used car. The scary part, if it happens, trust in that blockchain can collapse overnight, making your crypto worthless even if you did nothing wrong. Sybil Attack. A Sybil attack is like stuffing a vote with fake identities to flood a system. On social media, it's like one person making hundreds of fake accounts to push a narrative. On blockchains, an attacker creates many fake nodes to gain influence, disrupt the network, or gather unfair rewards. If you think you're dealing with a crowd, you're really dealing with one person in disguise. In peer-to-peer networks, Sybil attacks can slow down transactions, mess with routing, or even block honest nodes from connecting. In proof-of-stake systems, it's like faking thousands of voters to sway decisions unless the system verifies identities properly. This is why many blockchain systems require stake deposits, identity checks, or reputation scores to prevent one person from flooding the system with clones. Sybil attacks are less about breaking cryptography and more about abusing trust in networks that assume each node is independent.
Smart contract exploit. A smart contract exploit is like finding a loophole in a vending machine to get snacks for free. Smart contracts are like vending machines for crypto. Automatic, no human middleman, code running deals exactly as written. But if there's a bug in the code, attackers can drain funds, mint infinite tokens, or block transactions. The infamous DAO hack on Ethereum in 2016 let attackers drain $60 million worth of ETH because the contract's withdraw function didn't check balances correctly. Think about that. The code was law, but the law had a typo, and the attacker legally, per code, took the money. Smart contracts also get hit with reentrancy attacks, where an attacker keeps calling a function before the contract updates its records, draining funds like shaking a vending machine repeatedly before it registers a sale. Projects now run bug bounties, audits, and stress tests before launch, but even then, one missed line of code can lose millions in seconds.
DDoS Attack. A DDoS attack on blockchain nodes is like jamming all the phone lines so nobody else can make a call. Nodes are the backbone of a blockchain, handling transactions and keeping the network alive. In a DDoS attack, attackers flood these nodes with a tidal wave of junk requests, making them too busy to process real transactions. It's like a restaurant getting thousands of fake delivery orders, so real customers can't place theirs. In 2020, the Ethereum Classic network suffered repeated DDoS attacks, slowing transaction speeds to a crawl. Even though blockchains are decentralized, many depend on a few big nodes for syncing and verifying transactions. Attackers target these nodes to disrupt trading on exchanges, delay withdrawals, or force networks to spend time and money defending instead of improving. While a DDoS won't steal your crypto directly, it can freeze you out exactly when you need to trade or move funds. Routing attack. A routing attack is like intercepting and messing with your mail before it reaches you. Blockchains depend on the internet's network infrastructure to communicate between nodes. In a routing attack, hackers intercept or reroute the data flowing between nodes without the blockchain knowing. It's like a post office employee rerouting letters, delaying them or reading them before delivery. Attackers can partition the network, isolating some nodes to manipulate their view of the blockchain or slow down block propagation to cause confusion. This could allow double spending attacks if isolated nodes accept fake transactions that are later reversed. In 2014, researchers demonstrated routing attacks could be done on Bitcoin, showing how ISPs or malicious actors could control traffic routes. While encryption keeps data secure, routing attacks exploit the underlying pipes of the internet, and most crypto users don't even know these pipes exist until a transaction hangs for hours or gets reversed. Flash loan attack. A flash loan attack is like borrowing $1 million for 1 second, using it to rig a game, and returning the money before anyone notices. Flash loans let users borrow huge amounts of crypto instantly without collateral, as long as they repay within the same transaction block. DeFi traders use them for arbitrage, but attackers use them to manipulate prices or protocols. In 2020, the BZX protocol lost nearly $1 million when attackers borrowed funds, used them to manipulate Oracle prices, drained assets, and return the loan within seconds, leaving the system with the loss. It's like sneaking into a casino, flipping the roulette table with borrowed chips, cashing out the rigged winnings, and leaving before security sees you. Flash loan attacks expose how smart contracts can be brittle, with attackers exploiting the logic of instant loans to drain liquidity pools, trick oracles, or bypass collateral requirements in DeFi systems, proving that speed can be a double-edged sword in crypto. Eclipse Attack. An Eclipse attack is like blinding a security camera while you rob the store. In blockchain, it means isolating a specific node and feeding it only the attacker's chosen information. The attacker floods a node with connections, blocking its view of the honest network, and controlling the data it sees. It's like surrounding someone with fake friends who only tell lies, while the real world moves on without them. This attack can delay or manipulate the victim's transactions, or be a setup for bigger exploits like double spends or selfish mining attacks. Bitcoin nodes, for example, can be vulnerable if they aren't configured with strict peer connection rules, letting attackers fill their connection slots with malicious peers. While an Eclipse attack doesn't directly steal crypto, it can enable other attacks while the victim thinks they're seeing the real blockchain. For node operators and miners, protecting against Eclipse attacks is critical, ensuring their view of the blockchain remains clear and untampered. Double spend attack. A double spend attack is like paying for coffee with cash, then grabbing your cash back when the cashier isn't looking. On blockchains, it means spending the same crypto twice. Normally, once a transaction is confirmed on a blockchain, it's final. But if an attacker controls enough mining power or exploits network delays, they can trick a vendor into accepting payment, then secretly reverse the transaction on the blockchain, taking their crypto back while keeping the goods. This is why many merchants require multiple confirmations before accepting large crypto payments. In 2020, Bitcoin Gold and Ethereum Classic suffered double spend attacks where millions were stolen using this trick. It's like flipping a table during a card game, grabbing your bet back, and claiming you never lost. Double spending attacks expose the critical need for security in smaller blockchains, reminding users that fast and cheap transactions can come at the cost of safety. Replay attack. A replay attack happens when a blockchain splits during a hard fork, and someone copies your transaction from the old chain to the new chain without your permission. Think of it like paying for coffee at one shop, and someone sneaks off to another branch with a perfect copy of your receipt, grabbing another coffee using your payment. After a fork, both chains often share the same transaction signatures, so if there's no replay protection, your single transaction can be relayed on the new chain, draining your funds twice. This actually happened during the Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash split, where people accidentally lost money on the chain they weren't even using. To avoid getting drained, users should check if their wallets and exchanges support replay protection before sending transactions after a fork, or wait for network upgrades, so attackers can't duplicate your payment where you didn't intend to spend. Done watching? If you like this video, hit subscribe for more cool stuff.